Welcome to the Executive's View, the sports podcast where the stakes are high and the debates are fierce. Please welcome your host, Aaron Sirius Simmons, alongside co-host Barry DeVille Jordan. Each week, we bring you into the boardroom where the elite minds of sports converge. From the gridiron strategies to the business behind the ball, we tackle the hard-hitting questions and give you an insider's perspective. So pull up a chair and join us at the table where champions are made and legends are born. This is the Executive's View. Let's get down to business.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Executive's View. This is the view from on top, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with the executives, and I do appreciate that. You guys know how I get down, man. If you see the show, share the show, man. We're all over the place, man. We on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok. We're doing big things in big places. I definitely want to take everybody along for the journey. I don't do this by myself, man. I got a couple of guys here that are ready to chop it up and talk about everything around the world of sports. Some guys may be joining us late, but I got the villain in the building, man. What's going on, villain? How we doing, sir? You're on mute. You're on mute. He can't even get his drink right.
Shut the hell up. Listen, don't get me started today. I was being nice. I was getting salutations and all that stuff. Now, you know what? Forget y'all. I don't give a damn.
You know what? It's like I understand why villain's in a bad mood. And without further ado, Mr. LG Bing Bong No Bong is in the building. What's going on, my guy? How we doing, sir?
Bing. Bing. No bong.
You already got a cat.
Hey, Unc ain't here, man, so I gotta hold it down for him, man. We can't let Barry escape, man. You know, we was getting all this hell when the Rockies lost. So yeah, it come in return.
Wait, I didn't give you hell. I don't know. No, you must have me confused with someone else.
CK was giving us hell. So
I'm not CK. I'm a respectful fan. I don't gloat. Do I gloat in other people's misery on the show? Do I
death by association, man.
You know what? Then I'm not playing by those rules because that's not how the villain plays.
Hey, look, if you're a Knicks fan, that means you gotta suffer all the repercussions that come along with that.
That's unfortunate. Well, I'm not too sure. Obviously, Steve's gonna be here a little later as per usual, and we haven't seen CK, so hopefully everything's going good with him. But honestly, man, I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. Normally, I like to dive in head first, and kind of give some cats a little bit of teasers. But Tom Thibodeau was relieved of his duties after the New York Knicks were bounced out of the playoffs in the manner in which they were. I think I can speak for all of us here and all of us watching and listening. I think that Tom Thibodeau completely maximized what he was able to do there in New York. I wish CK was here because CK always like to talk about the depth in the bench and in our group that he mentioned how Cameron Payne didn't get many minutes. And I'm sure we're talking to that as we press on. But villain, I told you to leave. You know, let's make sure Mom Dukes didn't pay attention to tonight. I'm gonna let you work, man. Talk to me, man. Where's your head at with all this?
I didn't get a chance to talk to my mother about the show. So, Mom, if you're on right now, I love you. Put the mute on. Put it on mute. Just see my mouth moving. Listen. There's so many different thoughts going in my head, so forgive me if I'm all over the place. But, all right. Did I think Tom Thibodeau is the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land? Probably not. And I think I said that to you guys in our thread. I think he's a really good coach. He's really good at building a culture and laying a foundation for teams. But I think his style is a little too late 90s, early 2000s. It doesn't really fit this style of players, and I'll get into that. CK was crying to fire him for weeks, and now it's finally here. Okay.
And no CK. What's going on, man?
Yeah. Because honestly, let's be honest. He doesn't. He plays the same guys. He doesn't believe in his depth and all that good stuff. So it ultimately does him in, and it is what it is, right? Now, do I think he deserved to be fired at this point? No, I really don't, and I really think it's a hit job. Let's be clear. The Knicks were not playing good basketball since January, February. I think, Larry talked about it. I talked about it with him. Sears, we talked about it. Coach, he's in the building. He's talked about it. They hadn't been playing good basketball. They barely snuck into the 3 seed, if you can believe that, right? Like they were not playing good basketball by the end, and they were in danger of losing that 3 seed to a really hot Indiana team, right? So they were faltering at the end. And then if you look in the playoffs, they won 2 series, and kudos to them. They did a great job. But I can count on one hand how many games they actually really played a complete game and played dominant basketball. Probably game 6 against the Celtics. Other than that, they were always coming from behind, struggling and finding ways to win. But I don't feel like they were playing their best basketball in the playoffs either. So that could be on Thibodeau, right? But the way this came about really bothers me because you look at the trajectory of the Knicks, where they were before Thibodeau got here and where they are now, they were ascending, right? It's not like he got them to the Eastern Conference Finals 2-3 years ago and then they were, on the decline, right? Or they got to the finals and then just missed it, right? They hadn't gone this far in 25 years. They have gotten better progressively every year he's been the coach. So the reason why you fired him is because of the BS that I'm hearing that came out. I talked to you guys about it, right? Like the players had a big hand in this. It seems like Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson loved him. Mikal Bridges and Kat didn't. And Thibodeau is a hard coach on players, holds guys accountable, and today's player doesn't want to be held accountable. They want to be it's a players league. They think they can do what they want. That's why Mike Malone is out of a job. Okay? So that's one of the reasons why he got fired. Don't try to tell me Leon Rose made the ultimate decision and James Dolan backed him. Leon Rose was his damn agent. Do you really think Leon Rose wanted to fire him? Do you really think that's what he wanted to do? I don't believe that. I believe this came from Dolan because Dolan's a piece of trash. Okay. Dolan's the worst owner in New York, and that's saying a lot. This guy is a Nepo baby, born on third base, got handed the keys to the Knicks kingdom, and ever since he's owned this team, it's been an utter disaster. James Dolan's a piece of trash. I will never support that guy. I never liked him. And any Knick fan worth their weight in gold knows that this guy, nobody likes him. Nobody. So to try to blame it on Leon Rose is ridiculous. And for the fact that this organization, as good as it's been getting, is still a Mickey Mouse organization run by a guy that is a complete baby and a complete clown is ridiculous because this guy in James Dolan doesn't allow Leon Rose and Worldwide West to talk to the media because that's his edict. Because the media gives him a hard time, asks him tough questions, and nobody on the Knicks is available except if they talk to MSG networks. That's how he runs the organization. Because you know what? Sorry, Mom, he's a complete bitch. James Dolan's a bitch. Bitch ass. Okay? And I can't stand the guy. I don't like how he runs this team. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not going to leave my team because of one guy. I'm not going to do it. So there's a lot of emotions going into this, and I appreciate you, Sirius, for letting me rant and get it off my chest. But do I think Thibodeau is the guy to lead us to the next level? I don't think so. But do I think it's fair that he got fired after 2 50-win seasons back to back? 5 years of actual, not prosperity, but the best 5 years that we've had in over a quarter century, I think it's ridiculous. So there, like, part of me is like, yeah, you got to move on and try to find a guy that can get you over the hump. But the other part of me is like, is there a guy out there that's going to get you over the hump? And did he deserve to lose his job? No, I don't understand anybody that can drive record. If you had a regular job, you drove record revenue for your job, and then all of a sudden they let you go. It's not because of what you've done on the court. It's personal. And if the Knicks had any balls, they would have done what Denver did. Fire him midseason when you had the problem with him. Because everybody remembers when Mikal Bridges was complaining that he's playing too many minutes. This is a guy that hasn't missed games in years. And he was complaining midseason about Thibodeau. And then they had that whole spat going back and forth, right? Like, it was there. The seeds were there. This is the hit job. This is the players being in exit interviews with other management complaining about Thibodeau, and this is how Thibodeau lost his job after you pay him $30 million to give him a 3-year extension. It's bullshit. This is why I was saying this is typical Knicks bullshit. And I know Unc doesn't agree with me. He wants to say, oh, we have the depth, the guy, but he didn't want to play him. If you think Cameron Payne is depth on this team, you're out of your fucking mind. Okay, I like Cameron Payne, but this guy is not depth. That's not a depth piece that's going to win you a championship. I'm sorry. So is that his fault? Is it Thibodeau's fault that you traded 5 first-round picks, 4 unprotected for a guy that's never made a freaking All-Star team and a guy that complains that he's an Iron Man, but he's complaining that he plays too many fucking minutes? Is that Thibodeau's fault? Is it Thibodeau's fault that Cat was getting yelled at by his own team in the playoffs for not playing defense? Is that Thibodeau's fault? Maybe it is, but you know what? If your teammates know you're not playing defense, then that's a problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think that Thibodeau's the guy to lead us to the promised land, but I don't think this was handled right. I don't think it's fair. There's never a good time to fire anybody, but this reeks of Knicks bullshit. And it 5 years ago, we were in a position looking for a coach, desperate. Now it's 5 years later. We've been to the playoffs. We went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're looking for a new coach. And I feel like I'm right back where we started. It's ridiculous. I'm done.
Well, before we even move it around, Coach, what's going on, man? How we doing, sir?
What up, Coach?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. There's been a little bit of controversy in the small borough of Edgewood where the mayoral race. That's why I was a little bit late. My wife's on the committee. The mayoral race has been contested. So drama in my little neck of the woods here, my little borough in Pittsburgh. Looks like we're gonna have ourselves a good old fashioned runoff for mayor. So yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
fun. Yeah. So
Anyway, get in when you fit in, man. You heard what Villain had to say about Tibbs being let go. Where's your head up with all this, bro?
I'm gonna keep this short because I mean, like, at the end of the day, I think it is a bad decision.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, I could go off and give you a big monologue about, Dolan and Rose and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it is we laugh and we joke about like Knicks fans' response to winning early playoff series and stuff like that. But it's like it's that passion, it's that love of the team that Dolan takes advantage of
Yeah.
because he knows that people like Barry and people like there, out there, in Times Square, stuff like that in front of the Garden, they're not gonna go anywhere. And it's like all you have to do is just do enough, and this is how they'll react. And Dolan does things that he thinks owners should do. He does not know what an owner is. He does things that he thinks that he sees other owners do. So he thinks, oh well, we didn't make it to the finals. We should fire Tibbs, right? Like that's what an owner would do, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
And then and it's just again like born on third base type guy where it's just like he'd rather play in his band than run the Knicks. The and everybody knows this. Madison Square Garden is more valuable to him than the Knicks are.
Facts.
You know, and that's always been the
say
thing.
that again. Say that again because
That's the
important.
thing. It's like if you don't know Madison Square Garden, the building that the Knicks play in, which is also the building that the Rangers play in, which is also the building that the most famous. Like the building is worth more to him. He cares more about the building. Billy Joel sold out how many concerts in a row in the Garden? That's what gets his goat going. He doesn't care about the Knicks as much as he cares about other things, and that's the problem. He has all these other things that he cares about more, and the Knicks are like fourth or fifth on his list. And right now, he is doing things that he thinks a owner should do. Fire the coach, do this, do that. And it's like, look, like I said, Barry summed it up really good, and I can't add too much more. But it's just the Knicks are in a spot where look, you're here. It's like I don't think Mike Malone. At first, I thought like, okay, Mike Malone, or excuse me, Michael Malone would be a good fit. But hearing the things that are coming out of New York, he's in the Tibbs kind of like neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, that's
know,
not what you want.
he got fired he got fired in Denver for the same reason Tibbs ultimately got fired in New York. So you can't bring in a guy like that. They want a homeboy. They want somebody who they can hang out with. They want somebody who they want
They want a yes
MAW.
man. They want the same. They want a Marty Schottenheimer like
Yeah.
the
No,
Dallas
no, no, no,
Cowboys.
no. Like the players, they want a big bro.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they want Jason Kidd. They
They need
want
to be
Ime Udoka.
coddled. They need to
Yeah,
be coddled.
they want somebody like that. It's just the New York Knicks roster as is a good roster. And just like any other team that like look, only one team wins the championship. The Pacers or the Thunder are gonna be the only team that win the championship this year. And the Knicks came close. Look, I feel like the Knicks are in a similar situation to the Cavs, where it's like, look, you guys have some talent. Make the right move. It's like this is very important. Don't mess this up because I feel like the Knicks have made too much progress. Like I laugh and joke about like those old Knicks teams and stuff like that, and it's just it was awful basketball, and Barry can attest to that. We all can attest to that.
Mhm.
Like those early 2010s teams, those are some bad teams. And to see where the Knicks were and to see where they are now, it's like, look, a lot of people not gonna like when I say this. It's like I laugh and joke about the Knicks all the time, stuff like that. Basketball, I love when the Knicks are good.
It's good for
It's
It's good for the
it's
league.
it's good for basketball when the Knicks are good. You know, However you feel about it, it's good. It's good for basketball when the Knicks are playing well.
It's
Like I
good for
said,
business.
we saw the energy in the Garden. We saw the energy outside of the Garden after the playoff wins and stuff like that. Now, don't agree with them like throwing trash and beating up the guy in Halliburton jersey, whatever.
No, me
But it's
neither.
like, but I just feel like the Knicks are a team that they're right there. And this is who they fire. I mean, who they hire as their net coach is very important because it could be the difference between them staying in the upper tier of the East or ending up like the 76ers.
So there was a lot that you said there that I'm gonna double click on. And then Larry, I'll throw it at you. Coach, you mentioned in your whole spiel, Knicks make the right move. Yeah, you kind of said it multiple of times. The problem that I have with that statement is not that it's a wrong statement. It's the statement that Knicks fans are saying James Dolan and the powers that be don't know what move to make. And I think if you don't know what move to make, how the hell are you supposed to make the right move, especially when the people that are pulling the trigger have a history of making bad moves? Barry alluded to it. You gave up the farm for an Iron Man and Mikal Bridges, who was missing in action this whole series versus Indiana. He was non-existent. He made a couple plays, but he was
Until the
non-existent.
fourth quarter sometimes.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so obviously they need to go out and bring in a new coach. And Larry, I'm gonna throw it at you and then we can bounce it around. There's a bunch of names being floated out there. Coach said Mike Malone. I don't know if he's the guy. Obviously, Boonhoser name he gets brought up. There's a couple other guys that I looked at. Your boy from UConn, his name is always in the mix.
So So I'll stop you right there. He said no. He said he's not interested.
Again,
I
I'm just
saw
reading off
that
the list.
today.
Jay
Yeah,
Wright,
Danny Hurley said he's not interested. There was another name that came up. I think it was in the college ranks, and
Jay
they
Wright.
said no. I don't know. It was Jay Wright. No, it wasn't Jay
Rick
Wright.
Pitino. He's right across the hall.
I don't know if it was
Another one.
Pitino either, but Pitino was not happy that Tibbs got fired. They asked him. He said he was very upset, to say the least. But yeah,
So-
Danny Hurley took his name out of the hat just because of his experience with the Lakers. So he said no.
So I mean, I mentioned those guys to kind of say this, and then Larry, I'll let you roll. The right move may not be the right move. Like, we're all basketball minds here. And we saw the writing on the wall when James Dolan made the moves that he made. Now, again, the Knicks surprised me. I didn't think it was going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, I sat there and produced Villains, Orange and Blue Sky show with his boys, and they said early on in the year, second round, but if they're able to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they will consider this season a win. I can't wait to hear what they say now, but Tibbs got them to the Eastern Conference Finals, playing 6-7 dudes the whole damn year. Mm-hmm. What's the next right move for the Knicks? Larry talking, man. Where'd you head at?
I mean, y'all know, fellas, man, I look at this a little differently, man. I look at it from the standpoint of when you look at the Eastern Conference, was the Knicks, the second best team? No. I mean, I looked at them and the Pacers, people feel around like after the All-Star break, the Pacers have like the second best record next to OKC. So they've been balling. So to me, it was like the Knicks and Pacers was always like 3 and 4 to me, right? Mm-hmm. When you get to the playoffs, regardless of nobody say you got to play who you got to play, but you do get breaks. Like they did get Boston, and we knew Boston was hurt, bro. Porzingis was playing 8 minutes a game or something like that, 6 minutes or something. He didn't play no second halves. So, and then Cleveland basically had the Walking Dead going against the Pacers. So did Boston? Did the Knicks exceed expectations? They did, but they did get a little help along the way. Yeah, they did, because I didn't. Let's just keep it a buck, like you say, serious. If Cleveland was healthy, do you think the Pacers beat Cleveland fully healthy? I don't.
No, I don't think so either.
Do you think the Knicks beat Boston fully healthy?
You know what? Here's the thing. I can't necessarily say that. And
Cleveland had been balling.
I understand what you're trying to get at, but I will say this. And again, I hate that I'm defending this Knicks team. This Knicks team fought and clawed. And to Villain's point, no lead was safe. Either direction.
Yeah, but they got some breaks, dude. Bear, you's a Knicks fan, right? Dude, they could have easily been down 0-2 to the Pistons.
Oh, yeah,
easily, bro. That was a foul at the end of that game too.
Of course, he said that. I think I was very worried.
Yeah. So it's like when I look at it, I'm looking at it like the standpoint of, did they exceed expectations? Like our Rockets, nobody saw them being number 2 seed. They exceeded expectations, but did they get some help along the way? They did. So now when I'm looking back at the Knicks, when you look at a roster, I know and 5 Tibbs, I'm gonna shout out for 5 Tibbs, but when you look at that roster, the roster to me was never the roster to compete with a Boston or a Cleveland. It was never that roster to me. It was a roster of 5 guys, because that's who you consistently played. Me personally, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think Princess Achua should get more play. Like, that dude actually played really good in Toronto, and he barely sniffs any minutes.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, Larry. You're kind of
that's not true. That's not true.
I'm saying, other than him off that bench, campaign ain't the same campaign. And what's the other guy they got that comes and backs up Brunson?
Larry Sherman or whatever.
No, I'm talking about off the bench.
Miles Bridges can play.
No, I'm saying off of the bench.
You talking about Larry Sherman, whatever his name is?
Landry Shamet?
No. The guy who backs up Shumpert.
McBride.
Yeah.
McBride. Okay, I got you.
Like, I feel like he should get more play. But when you're looking at an overall team, I don't see the Knicks being better than a Boston or Cleveland. Like I said,
no, but whose fault is that?
no, you know what I'm saying. But that's the team.
Is that Thibodeau's fault?
No, it's not. No, it's not. But this is
So
what
why is he the guy? Why is he the guy that got to fall on the sword?
I'm going somewhere with this, right? I'm going somewhere with this because when you look at the roster, you got to compare that to the other people in the East because that's who you're gonna have to play, right? Mm-hmm. But then now, when you circle back around and you look at Tibbs, and Tibbs isn't maximizing some of the players that he could be getting a little bit more out of, right? So you got to remember that this is a copycat league. So it don't matter what his record was. And I've said in the chat, the announcers were calling out some of the mistakes he had been making, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, I didn't see it. Remember, I said it before the show. I said I don't see him making it. If they don't make the finals or win a championship, I don't see him coming back. Period. So when I'm looking at that roster, like I said, when I'm looking at their roster, I don't see the roster constructed in a way that Tibbs would have been able to maximize that roster, right? And you go back in further. We just talked about it. Mike Malone got fired. Mike Malone got his championship. Taylor Jenkins got what? He got 250 win seasons to do that. That Memphis team was like 600 when he got fired. Mm-hmm. You got to remember that every league is a copycat league. So when these owners, because I don't think it came from the GM, I think it did come from the owner. I agree with you, Barry. When they look at these teams and they're like, oh, well, they fired their coach. They got 250 win season. I don't think he's maximizing this roster, right? And now you got to say, okay, well, how can we improve the team? Because right now the Knicks don't have no way of really improving this unless Dolan fits to go way into that. What is it, the second luxury tax? That's the only way they're gonna improve.
They're not gonna do that.
Not only they give up,
they're not gonna hit the second apron.
Let me ask you this question: with no wiggle room, okay, no way to improve.
Well, there is ways to improve. That's not.
The only way you're gonna improve. The only way you're gonna improve this team.
Mid-level exception. They have about $7 million in cap space. So what they have to do is convince guys to take less money for a chance to win in New York.
They're gonna have to end up. I hate to say it, Barry, but they're gonna have to end up moving one of their key pieces.
Fine, that's fine. Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Larry. Because I agree with you.
They have no draft capital. They have zero draft capital.
They got a couple picks they can trade. But
you gotta remember, you forgot though.
They're gonna net to a big player.
They actually sent a first round back for the cat trade too. Remember?
I know. What they have one tradable round pick that they can trade, and then they can do swaps. They can do pick swaps. But here's the deal. I agree with you with what you said, that if Tibbs didn't make the finals, that he wasn't going to come back. Here's where I'll push back. I think if he made the finals, he's still getting fired.
Yeah.
Because what I've seen that's come out, like I said, they haven't played good basketball in months. I think his voice in the locker room, they started to tune it out. Because you're talking about game 6 in the second half, they showed no freaking defensive effort. You're in the playoffs in a do-or-die game, and you show no effort on defense. You're turning the ball over. You're not getting back on defense. That's tuning out. Like, we've seen it before, guys. So
I'll go even further.
Here's the thing, Larry. Then I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but here's the deal. The two guys that you traded to bring in are the two guys that stood up and said, I do not want him here. The two guys that have been here in Brunson and Hart are the guys that wanted him here. And who won out? Cat and Bridges. That's the problem. He was getting fired after January, regardless what happened, how long he went into the playoffs. That's why I'm saying if the Knicks had any balls, they would have done it like Denver did it. Denver did it, 10 games left in the season? They didn't care. They knew that guy, they knew Malone wasn't the voice. They had to get rid of him. But the Knicks are so stupid, they left him here. They let them in here. Why? For what reason? You knew you were going to get rid of him.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I keep telling y'all, how many times have you seen from a basketball perspective, how many times have you seen it where they've not only gave up massive amounts of draft capital, gave these guys huge contracts, and they don't win a championship, and the coach survives? Don't happen. They don't happen like that, bro.
I don't
Don't
say
happen like that. Hey, look, if you
The coach is always the first to go because
they're the
you're the
first to
smart one
go.
that's
They
got to
gave up.
figure it out.
It'd be different if they had a bunch of guys and they still had 51st round draft picks. Yeah, they got may make it right, but they don't, dude. And you know what? And I'll go even further, Barry. You know who your Knicks are turning into? The Lakers. The Lakers, bro. Dude, you saw what the Lakers just did. They gave up all that.
We don't get the stimulus package like the Lakers
Oh
get.
yeah, they don't. But they don't have no assets. They have no assets. They have no wiggle room. They damn near in their second luxury tax. So what they do? They fired their coach. They fired their coach, bring in JJ Redick, and like, oh, JJ can do the job. We blaming the coach. Like they can't make any moves, bro. They turn it into the Knicks. I mean, they turn it into the Lakers.
They can make moves. They're just not going to make big splash moves. They need depth pieces. You don't need big splash. You got splash moves. You made those moves.
How many guys are you going to get to come in?
You don't need that many. You just need
what
one.
I'm saying.
You need one.
Depends. I mean, you don't even know because again, Tibbs didn't play. He didn't even know what the fuck you got on there.
Yeah, they need more 3 and D
just not in the playoffs. He played them in the regular season. The kids
when
got
minutes. Then why don't you play them in the playoffs?
Because he didn't trust them in the playoffs.
So why even have them on the roster?
What do you mean?
But you know what? I'll go even further. Man. This is why you build them up in the season to then you can trust them in the playoffs. Even if it's limited minutes, even if you're giving them real limited.
Precious Achua played in the regular season. It's not like he didn't play. Okay.
The one thing we saw
Deuce McBride played. Cameron played.
Yeah. Okay,
but I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying that too.
8-9 deep.
Yeah, dude, but I hate this.
You're talking about maybe 1 or 2 extra guys that will play. 1 or 2. That's it.
And you know what? This is why I think that I think the writing was on the wall too. Not the fact that Bridges had already came out and said that about him, but we talk about it over and over in the show. The definition of insanity, doing it over and over and over again. Remember what I said? I said, dude. I said when you and I get it, dude. We have this mentality that players should play every day, and now it's like, oh, the load management. The load management is crazy, but if you notice that even before this load management area, even in the 90s, guys would sit certain days, or they would get close to the playoffs. They've already locked up they quote unquote seeding. They would rest some guys for the playoffs. Tibbs still plays guys 48 minutes, game 82.
He rested them the last couple of games. He did.
I mean, yeah, after they was pretty much locked into it, but
yeah, because they were fighting for the 3 seed.
After that, cutting back minutes though.
After that, you were on the show talking shit to me because
I said they were going to run out of gas.
Just went in the game, played a second, and came out so he can keep his 82 game streak.
Yeah, but I also said they were going to run out of gas because he kept playing them 48 minutes. I get it, they were playing for seeding, but he could have limited some of those minutes. And at the end of the day, sometimes you got to say to yourself,
why they lost? Is that really why they lost?
I think they ran out of gas. I think it was
they got ran out of the goddamn building.
Yeah, they got ran out of gas, dude. And I'm telling you that, like, dude,
ran out of gas or got ran out of the gym.
They got ran out of the gym, bro, because
Cat didn't look like he was getting up and down. He was sagging off the pick and roll, not defending anybody.
Yeah, because the only way it is what it is. I'm just saying the only way you're gonna keep up with a team like the Pacers, dude, because Boston plays that too. Boston was just walking dead. Boston plays that get up 89 million shots a game too. Sure. Like Boston plays like that.
Boston lives and dies at the perimeter.
It
makes Boston it easy to defend.
But when they're healthy, Boston plays like 8 or 9 deep, and that's how they can do that. That's how the Pacers can do that.
10 deep.
Yeah,
honest with you. But 10 deep. Honestly, I hate that argument that he runs guys into the ground. I hate that argument because at this point, I'm telling you, they knew they were going to fire him. They knew they were going to fire him.
Oh, yeah. I knew it too. Yeah, they knew that.
I feel it in my bones. And now the reports of Jason Kidd and Ime Udoka is nice, but give me a fucking break. There's no way the Houston Rockets are letting that man walk out there. No. Look at what he did in one season with your Rockets. There's no way you're letting that guy walk out of the door.
Wait, Barry. Hey, Mama Jordan, you better put it on mute right quick because I need to put on mute. This is what the fuck is pissing me the fuck off. Pissing me the fuck off, bro. Real talk. Like I said, if you want to play at that pace, you want to have people playing, Where the fuck is Sam Cassell at, man? Sam Cassell get passed over so many goddamn coaching opportunities.
As
Still get an
somebody who
assistant
needs to
coach for
get an
Sam
so
opportunity.
Cassell would be
goddamn
really
long.
good for the Knicks. He'd be really good for the
He would
Knicks.
be a really good coach
I
for
don't
them.
know. He'd be really good anywhere. To be
Dude,
honest,
real
Mhm.
talk.
the Knicks.
Dude, Sam Cassell is one of those coaches. If he was the head coach of the Knicks, he could tell Bridges, shut the fuck up. He could tell Cat, get your ass on fucking defense.
But that's
He could
not what
say,
they want.
They
That's
he
they
could
not
don't
what
say,
they
like that
want.
though.
but
They want a guy that's gonna listen. Larry, I agree with you. I think Sam Cassell would be a great coach. He will not be the Knicks coach, and I'll tell you why. Two reasons. Just I said before,
good.
they want a player coach like that's gonna kiss their ass and wipe it when they're done, and then they're not firing Rick Brunson. They're
But
not
I think,
firing the staff.
dude, but I think,
They're not firing because if they were
but I
going to
think
fire the
Sam,
staff, they would have done it when they did Tibbs. They're
no,
not
but I think
firing
Sam,
Jalen Brunson's daddy.
but
So
didn't they play together?
they're gonna open up the checkbook for Johnny Bryant to come back and be the head coach and keep the staff in place to keep
Mhm.
everybody else happy.
Yeah, but
It's
I
a
thought,
bullshit job that they're gonna do.
yeah, but
I
I'm
guarantee
just saying. No, but I'm saying I thought didn't Steve, don't hold me to it, but didn't Brunson and Cassell play here together? Maybe they
Yeah,
crossed over maybe one.
Don't you
Yeah,
think
But I
Cassell
think,
would
but I,
be
real
I
talk, I
think they
think
might have just missed each other. I
I
think
think
so. I think they
Sam
might have.
is
Yeah.
I think Sam because he's known as a players coach. I think he's cool enough to be cool, but strict enough to keep them accountable.
but
But
Sam's
this
gonna
guy
want
got
his own
rings,
staff,
bro.
right? Don't you think Sam's gonna want his own staff?
I mean,
Of course, he's gonna want his own staff.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
nah,
yeah.
but I
But
think
see,
Sam
I think
been,
that in New York, you're going to be stuck with Rick Brunson and company.
but I think he's been an assistant so long enough that he would take the opportunity and say, let me
Okay,
get a
all
couple of
right.
my guys and you
I
keep
could
a
be
couple
wrong.
of guys on and let's just work it out. Because that dude has been begging for somebody to just like give me an opportunity. Give me opportunity. Like I said, and at the end of the day, these guys don't have rings. Sam can come in there and be like, which one you want to see? Because I can show you a couple of them. Like I said, man, and it's sad, man, that his name don't even come up in the coaching search. His
well, I
name has not
mean,
even came up in any of these coaching searches.
I will
None.
say this. I will say this, kind of bringing us back on topic with the tips thing and the Knicks. I mean, I would love Sam Cassell to get opportunity. Obviously, we got three-fourths of us are Rockets fans. We love the guy, sixth man of the year. But he's buried on the Boston Celtics bench right now. That's where he's at, in Boston.
I mean, but
But I
why
mean,
would you leave unless it's the perfect opportunity? I
Right,
wouldn't leave
and that's the thing. Like, why Joe Mazzulla has Sam Cassell chilling? You know what I'm
But
saying?
that Knicks team got enough talent that he might be like, you know what?
I
Let me
mean,
see what I can do.
to coach in Madison Square Garden on the Knicks, he would leave Boston. I mean, that's a no brainer.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure.
it's the Garden. It's the Garden. That's the
But
thing.
it's the Knicks.
Yeah, it's the Garden. It's still the
Honestly,
Knicks.
that's a
I mean,
coveted job.
and we're talking all this, and we're doing this, all that, and Barry said it. You know what I'm saying? To put a nice little cherry on top of this Nick Sunday, they're gonna hire Johnny Bryant because it makes sense because it
He was
just
his assistant there.
yeah.
He was
It just
assistant
makes
under
sense.
Tibbs.
See, it would just be it would be very low effort, very Knicks to just do this, just to be like, oh, the guy who used to be like, let's just he's familiar. He knows everybody here.
He
It's,
knows
it's
where the
cool.
building's at. He knows how to get there. He knows what.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
yeah.
he's been
So
there. He's been an associate head coach. I know the Suns are really hot on him. They really want him. The Knicks are going to back the truck up, overpay him to come in and be their head coach. And then he's going to be stuck trying to figure out how to get these guys, how to get Cat to show effort and not sit there and whine. But we're being fouled. Oh my
yeah,
god!
because what do the Knicks want, Barry? They want the back page. They
He on
want
the
Yeah,
that
back.
back page, baby.
that's it.
You know what I'm
That's all
saying?
they
So
want.
that's what matters. Give me that back page. And that's what they'll do. Because that will get people to go to the newsstand and pick up the post and and talk about it and generate stuff like that because nobody else would do that. So at the end of the day, the Knicks, like you say, the Knicks knew who they fired us because they know what they're gonna do. We can speculate stuff like that. I'd be very shocked if that's not the thing that they end up doing because yeah, like the Brunson brand is too strong within the organization to where it's tough. as a Knicks fan, I'm sure, but it's like
How,
they
how,
got
how
some.
do you feel about that, villain? Like real talk. How do you feel about the idea of that being your new head coach?
About who?
Johnny Grant.
Oh yeah,
I think I think he listen. I think he's a good candidate. I really it's not like we're settling for anybody. But is
Mm-mm.
he the guy to get us over the hump? I don't know that. I really don't know. But he's a good young coach that, everybody's high on. So where there's smoke, there's
But
fire.
wasn't you on that same position 5 years ago with Tibbs?
Exactly. Well, when Tibbs wasn't the hot commodity, but we're at that point. Like, 5 years ago, we're looking for a coach. Now we're here 5 years later. Um, I just feel like he would be a good coach to grow under. I just don't know if he can do it or not because I haven't seen. He doesn't have the experience. Don't you want an experienced coach that's going to get you over the hump? Don't you
In
With
want
New
this
York,
like
group,
yeah.
yes,
In
yeah.
New
With
look
York,
at
this
yeah.
like
group,
when,
I
when
think you
Detroit,
need
right?
yeah.
Remember
In New York, yeah.
Detroit 20 years ago? They got rid of who was I forget who the coach was, but they brought in Larry Brown and got him a chip, and
They
they went back to the
wasn't it.
finals.
Was it Rick Carlisle? No, was it Rick
You talking about
Carlisle?
No,
who?
yeah.
They,
It
they
was
got rid of
it
Rick
was Rick
Carlisle
Carlisle.
and
It
brought
was
in
Rick
brought
Carlisle.
in Brown to get them over the hump because it was like they were those Pistons were in a very similar
Oh, it
situation
was
to
the
where the Knicks are
Pistons.
now. It's like
It
they
was the
have the
Pistons. Yeah.
talent, they have the team, and they were like, you
Mhm,
know what, this coach, while he's a good coach, we talked about a couple weeks ago, getting in the club. Look,
mhm.
Tibbs getting the Knicks in the club, got them in the club, but not they
You got to
need a
go
coach
home
to
with the
get them
chip
in the
now.
VIP.
He ain't
You know,
popping
Yeah, we
bottles.
we
yeah,
we ain't going with them boppers, bopping and
You
yeah,
go home.
bopping,
You ain't
right?
go home with them
All
Hey,
ladies.
right.
Then.
dude, like
yeah.
you know what? I wanted to say this too. Barry. Like I said, they're gonna have to because they don't have like draft capital. They don't have like all this
Let
cap
me
space.
see.
If they're gonna have to make some moves next year because I feel like personally next year is going to be the year that their window is open and because we know Tatum's not going to be back no
Yeah,
time.
no, that's that's
Uh,
that's exactly right.
we don't know what you kind of know what you're going to get out of Cleveland. Cleveland always kind of fall apart in the playoffs.
You
Uh,
have
you
two.
don't you
They
don't know
have
what the
two in
space is.
2025 and one in 2026.
This
Yeah,
is
So
if there was any a year if
one,
this year
two.
would have been the year to get to the finals
Yeah.
because of what
Yeah, this
happened
this
in
was
real
yeah, this
time.
was
But
the year. Yeah.
this next year, to Larry's point,
you
is the
got
year to prepare to get to the finals because now it's open. I think you still have to contend with Indiana. You have to give them respect. I think Detroit will be a little bit better. But the two top teams that dominated the East are not going to be the same teams that dominated the East next year. So if the Knicks had any chance to get to the NBA Finals next year, 2025
better be
26
it.
is that
Better be
season.
it.
Yeah, and to your point, they don't have a lot of draft capital, but like I said, they still have a couple of moves they can make. And like honestly, you have your five. You have your well,
Mhm.
you got your set. You got seven guys. You need two more. That's it. So you need one guy to take a mid level and one guy to take a lower salary.
So
That's
you're
really
going.
it.
So
Let's
you're
meet
going
up.
again. I'm digging into your orange and blue sky show, but you're
Sure.
going into next year with Cat,
As it
Yeah.
stands right now, yes.
or
Now,
or you trying to move him
I,
to get assets?
please
Because I'm
don't,
seeing
please
a lot
don't.
of stuff about him being moved too.
I know, and
So of Cat and
do I
of Cat
really
and
want to
Bridges
move?
were the guys who were the catalyst for Tibbs getting fired. Tibbs isn't there anymore.
Because
Like,
of Cat.
do you,
But
do you because of them? So do you trade the guy? Like, we fired the coach
yeah,
because of these guys. Like, you don't move
yeah,
those guys. You know.
you capitulated to Tip, not to Bridges and Cap by getting rid of Tibbs. Now you're going to move Cat too. You could have kept
Yeah. You
Tibbs if
don't.
you're
Yeah.
going to do that. So
Yeah.
while there's not a player out there that I would trade for Cat. I'm not trading Cat for Kevin Durant. I'm not doing that. I'm hesitant to do it for Giannis because I don't know if Giannis is the same guy he was 4 years ago. He's good. He's not a better offensive player than Cat. He's a better defensive player. So what are you giving up to, like what are you trading off by swapping those
Didn't
guys, right?
Giannis average like 30 points this season and like
Oh,
20
come
Like
on now,
rebounds?
Larry.
I'm
Like,
just saying, I'm
let's
just
be
going on my
honest
head.
here. When you look
no, but
at Cat's offensive game and
I
look
mean,
at
we talking about
when
offensive
you look
game
at
or we
how
talking
Cat scores his points and look at how Giannis scores his points. I mean, Cat is a better offensive player
But
than Giannis is. It's just
Yeah,
Giannis
he
Giannis
is.
has
has
three heart.
Giannis has the ability to get to the basket 20 times a game and
Sure.
nobody can do anything about it. I mean,
I
but as
can't
far as like
I
overall
can't
a better
co-sign on that
offensive
one.
player, I mean,
Yeah,
Cat's a better offensive player than
that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
why would I trade Cat for Giannis? Right, straight up. I don't know. The only reason I would do it is because the numbers don't lie. Brunson and Cat on the court together is a minus. When they're separate, when it was just Brunson on the court or it was just Cat on the court, they're a plus. They can't play together. They got to figure out. It reminds me, and Sirius knows exactly what I'm going to say. It reminds me of Mello and Stat. They
Uh-huh.
Yep.
couldn't play together.
Hmm.
They
Wait, Barry.
couldn't play together.
Hey,
It's
Barry.
almost the same thing with Brunson and Cat. They can't play together on the same court. So, I listen. I agree with you. Cat's a better offensive player than Giannis, but Giannis is a freak. He's a dominant player, right? But do I want to trade Cat for that? And knowing that it's not going to be a straight up deal, that I'd have to get a third team involved to get assets to make that deal happen. Because there's no way that Milwaukee's just going to trade Cat for Giannis and call it a day. They're going to try to build around him and rebuild. They'd be stupid enough not to do it. So I don't know. I really feel like the Knicks have to go in with the five they have with Brunson, Cat, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart. Then you have McBride. You got to keep Robinson because you need front court depth, and you got a guy with a really team friendly contract at $13 million. You got to keep him. That's 7 guys. You need another 3-and-D guy, and you need another front court guy. That's what you need.
I mean, you know what? So, Barry, I'm gonna ask you this too, and I know we're not trying to make this orange and blue.
Yeah,
sky.
I don't want to. Yeah, we've been going on it.
You the Knicks fan on here, right?
Yeah.
So this is just an outsider looking in too. Tibbs is gone, and Tibbs got 30 million reasons to sit his ass at home. He ain't mad, you know.
He could work for NBC. He could
he
hold
probably
the camera at NBC.
he probably he ain't shedding no tears over here. Not when you cashing $30 million to do nothing. But for me, I'm not a fan of, and I'm not gonna bring that guy's name up, but I'm not a fan of, because you rarely see it happen with somebody when your point guard who's set up to set up your offense is taking the most shots on your team. And do you think that is one of the reasons why him and Cat can't survive together?
Yeah.
Or because Brunson takes the after ball, bro. He
Brunson,
they live and die by Brunson. Dude, like real talk, Bridges is a proven 20-point scorer, bro. And I get it, you can only get so many shots, but he taking less shots because Brunson ain't giving up his shot attempts for nobody.
I will say this.
Can we be honest? Can we? And I'll let you go, Sir. I'm sorry. Can we be honest with ourselves and say that Brunson's not a point guard? That he's undersized.
No,
he's like 6 foot, but he's like
he's an undersized 2 guard.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times when you have teams that, like I said, one person is so ball dominant and they don't learn how to play with another person that needs the ball too. Do you need to bring a coach in to say, hey, look, y'all need to we go figure out this offense to where both of y'all can get y'all shots up and thrive? Or do you gotta say F it and one of y'all gotta be moved?
I mean, and this is why you don't bring Giannis in, because we saw what happened with Giannis and Dame.
Yeah,
didn't work.
I mean, it took Luka and Kyrie a minute to figure it out, because they weren't looking that good when Kyrie first got there, and we always like 2 ball dominant. And
I mean, but then I think that was Kyrie. Yeah, I think that was Kyrie. Exactly. That was Kyrie deferring a little bit to Luka, and then that's why it worked out.
Yeah, that's why it worked. That's what I'm saying. But at first it wasn't working because they both needed the ball and they both was used to getting up 35 shots a game. And then Kyrie said, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back. You know, even Luka and LeBron. LeBron had to say, look, let me just take a little seat back because Luka's not playing off the ball. And you have to have a coach in place that can say, you know what, let's get more of an offense. To me, I think the Knicks, they that's why I was a Sam Cassell fan, because I'm like, they need somebody who can institute a free-flowing offense, kind of like Boston. Boston is like, Hey, Tatum, you hot tonight? You get 30 shots tonight. Hey, Brian, you hot tonight? You get 30 shots tonight. Hey, everybody gets involved in the game plan. Even watching the Pacers, bro. Like people were talking a lot of shit about Halliburton, but if you watch Halliburton's game, Halliburton, it could be a night he got 30, 10, and 10. It could be a game when he got 7, 15, and 6. And everybody else is still getting involved. Even if you bench guy number 8, you still getting, 3, 4 shots of a game. When you watch that Pacers team, it's guys that are literally getting involved into the offense. And everybody know if you play basketball, you want to be involved in the offense. And it's guys that's getting involved in it. Like even if you watch OKC, that's why I think this finals is gonna be crazy because OKC team, they like 10 deep, and even the 10th guy off the bench is getting some shots up because they play within an offense. And to me, like I get it was a little archaic of a type of an offense, but they got to bring a coach in that can say we need to not have everybody concentrating on Brunson because I think that was the Pacers game plan. They was like, we're gonna concentrate on Brunson. If you notice, they kept trying to get him in foul trouble. So now once he got into foul trouble, it's like, what is your plan B? But if everybody's getting involved in the game, you don't need a plan B. You're just running your offense. And I think that if the Knicks do get a coach, they need to get a coach in and say, you know what? Hey Brunson, you're amazing. Can you be amazing 75% of the time? And defer to the team 25%.
With that being said, we are going to move off the Knicks, still stay in the hardwood, and kind of look at this NBA Finals that is set to kick off tomorrow. The Indiana Pacers and the OKC Thunder, two franchises that have not been here for quite some time. The OKC Thunder have never. I can't say they've
Sonics.
never.
Sonics. I
Yeah,
ain't counting the
Yeah,
Sonics.
the franchise has
The
won a
franchise.
championship
franchise,
before,
not the
Yeah.
team,
but
not
not
the
the
So,
Thunder. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
and so how do you guys think this is going to shape out? I mean, Larry, you kind of alluded to it, man. I mean, both of these rosters go very, very deep. It's very, very interesting to see how they unfold. Larry, where'd you head up with this one?
Man, so my prediction, I'm gonna say OKC in 5, maybe 6. I don't think it going to 7. I'm gonna say OKC. Um, like I said, man, look, y'all gonna not like what I'm about to say, man. I've been saying all season. I like this OKC team. I like this OKC team because one, it don't matter what number you come to the bench, you play defense. Everybody play defense on that team. Defense win championships. We get into these, debates about errors and all this other stuff, right? The reason why I like this OKC team is because they shoot threes. You know what else they do? They shoot mid range. They take it to the rack. They even have post players that play in the post. It's like whatever you want, we're gonna give it to you. That's the reason why I like this OKC team. But at the same time, it's like they play defense within the rules that they can play defense of. It's a lot of teams that don't play defense. Pacers is one of them. Hey, and both of these teams can score, bro. I'm over like what I said last time I said first one to what 130.
You
First
said
one
first one to one was it 130
140.
or 122?
145. Hey, first one to 130, bro. I say first one to 130 gonna win these games. But I think it's gonna probably be like 130 to 100 because, like I say, OKC play defense and they are like hella deep. I honestly, a lot of people wasn't looking forward to this particular matchup, but I think this is probably gonna be the best matchup that we could have possibly got, considering, like I said, you had teams that had injuries coming out the East, and this Pacers team, bro, dude, they got Halliburton, they got Siakam, they got plenty of players, bro. They got plenty
Yeah.
of players on that team.
It's gonna be one hell of a series. Obviously, for me, I keep it short and sweet. I need the Pacers to win this.
Mhm.
I can't look at OKC and not think Seattle. And I know my man, coach. His wife is an OKC fan, and I don't think she's gonna let him live that down after OKC wins it. So, I think this is gonna be a very good series. I like the depth, and on both teams. I like the coaching from both teams. You got the MVP of the league, and rightfully so, Shea, going up against his buddy and Tyrese. OKC has only lost one game the whole regular season versus the East, and it was two, the Indiana and the Pacers. And so styles make fights. I can't say one team is more experienced than the other team because neither one of these teams have been in this position for quite some time. I will say Rick Carlisle has been there, done that. So from a coaching standpoint, I tip my cap to him on that regard. But the lights are the brightest now. Tyrese Halliburton, you're not sitting, on the bench in the gold medal game behind the rest of these stars. Getting an A for an assignment that you didn't participate in. Shay, unfortunately, you went to the same situation. You guys came up short. So the lights are the brightest now. There is no tomorrow. I'm curious to see, how this thing shakes out. Pressure bust pipes, also pressure makes diamonds. And so this is your opportunity, this is your time to shine. I need Indiana to win this ball game. Please, Indiana, win this series. Please, Indiana, win this series. Indiana, please win this series. With that being said, Villain, talk to me, man. Where's your head at, bro?
I think this series is going to be unwatchable. I think it's going to be boring. I don't think it's going to have very good ratings. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
Are you gonna watch it?
No, I am not gonna watch it. I have no interest in watching it because I'm a hateful Knicks fan. But fuck Halliburton. But honestly, no. See, I honestly think I'll pause. I think OKC is gonna win it in 5. I think they're gonna blow them out because they're a better team, and I feel like the ratings are going to be a disaster. I mean, you have really good ratings with the Pacers and the Knicks because of the Knicks in the market, and then you look on the other side, you had star power with Anthony Edwards in SGA, and part of it was because they were blowouts, but the ratings were much lower. They were lower than they were last year. So I just think that, like, you're talking about a really small market in Indiana, and then and OKC, and I feel like the league they really tried during the season to put a spotlight on OKC by putting them in some primetime games, but I don't know if it actually took, like, kind of like Coach said, that curl that didn't quite curl all the way. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be a great series. I honestly think, like, game 3 will be close, but I really think OKC is going to win in 5. And I think that's being nice. I honestly think they could sweep them. They're a much better team. They have depth. They play defense, like Larry said. They got star power in SGA who can carry a game and who can do business in the fourth quarter. I think Halliburton is a star. He's not a scorer. He's a facilitator. I don't think they have, like, Siakam is a guy that can take over, but I don't think he takes over quite often enough. There is a guy that you can dump the ball to in OKC that can take over a game, and I don't think there's a guy like that in Indiana. So it's going to be interesting to see how Rick Carlisle defends SGA and how he gets offense going for a team that doesn't let you do anything offensively. Like, they won't let you – they will do whatever it takes to stop what you do best. And what the Pacers do best is run up and down. When the Knicks actually decided to play defense and run up and down, that team did not score over 90 points, and they could not get anything going. So,
hey, Barry, I was going to say, but OKC can run with you because they ran Minnesota up out of there.
Oh, exactly. So it's like, yeah, you want to play that game, we could play that game. But honestly, I look at it like they're going to stop them from running, and they're going to make them play a half-court game, and Indiana cannot do that. So that's why I feel like it's going to be OKC in 5. And I honestly feel like nobody's going to be watching this series.
Coach, talk to me. Where's your head at?
I'm not Adam Silver or anybody in the NBA front office. I don't care how many people watch this series because I'll be watching.
But they should. They should. It's
so
revenue. It's revenue dollars. It's
Adam
ad money that they're not going to get.
Again, Adam Silver and those guys have to worry about this. I don't. I'm glad I don't. I'm glad it's not my job to make sure that people watch this because a lot of people aren't going to watch it, but I'm going to watch it. So it's like I am glad that's not what pays my bills. Getting people to watch OKC and Indiana in this series because a lot of people aren't. This isn't. There is no. Where's LeBron? Where's
There's no
Kevin
star
Durant?
power here, other
Where's
than
Steph Curry? You know,
yeah.
it's just like there is no. You're not gonna get the casual fan with this one. You're gonna get the people who like me are going to watch it anyway. You know, so it's just I'm gonna it's gonna be on. I'm gonna be watching tomorrow night. I'm gonna watch the game. So they don't need me to watch. They need everybody else to watch. The other people to watch. But that being said, as much as I hate to admit it, I mean I've said this here on the show. It's just what makes Indiana go is from the first tip is just like chaos, car crash. Let's go, run, 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 run.
Mhm.
Let's and it leads Indiana to be careless at times, and you don't want to be careless against the best defensive team in the league. You can get away with that with other teams. And I mentioned this, and I like again, I wanted the T Wolves to win last series. I came here and was like T Wolves in six, but it's like again, that was a pipe dream because
Mhm.
again, what the Thunder do so well, and I said this once and I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times. They create so much offense with their defense. And with a team like Indiana, who like Barry alluded to, they when you get them in the half court and they can't just run and just go up and down stuff like that, they press, they make mistakes, and then OKC being able to just lean on them and force these unforced errors and generating points off of it. You know, it's just we're gonna see like man, it's like wow, it's like the Thunder had 27 points off of 22, turnovers or whatever. It's
And it
just it's gonna
happened so
be
quickly.
and it happened so quickly. It's just that they strike quickly. It's just it could be a thing where it's like the game was tied 71-71 midway through the third quarter. The Thunder won 125-82. It's just, that's what they do.
Mhm. Yeah,
71-71, they won 125-82. How did this happen? They went on a 34-3 run, and game over. This is what they do. They're suffocating on defense. They can fill it up on offense. As much as I hate to say this, I think this is going to be a short series. But the only thing that gives me hope is somebody who is rooting against the Thunder more so than I'm rooting for the Pacers. Um, Rick Carlisle's a good coach. He's been here, done that before, and I think Rick Carlisle can coach his way of every game. It's tight in the fourth quarter. I think Rick Carlisle can scheme and plot and coach his way to a victory down the stretch. And I think
but
Halliburton's
but
good.
the Patriots have to keep it close.
Exactly. That's it. If there's a close game, I think you have a guy like Siakam, who's been there, done that. You have a coach Carlisle. Well, like if it's a close game down the stretch, and we saw it in the Knicks series where the Pacers kind of like when things got close, the Pacers just kind of like found a way to kind of like make the right piece moves and stuff like that. And I could see the coaching aspect of it, giving the Pacers a win. I could see a monster game from Halliburton, like Barry talked about that game three. I could see like that game three in Indiana where like Halliburton has like a 27, 11, and 8 game or something like that and they win. So I mean, I give the Pacers those 2 games. So I mean that would mean Thunder in 6, as much as it may I want to choke saying it. You know what I'm saying? It's just I think the Thunder are just they have been the best team all year. They will continue to be the best
Mhm.
team. And it is what it is for me because it's just this is basketball, guys. This like I'm gonna watch it because these are two teams who hoop, man. They just go out there and just hoop. And as much as I can't stand, we're men of a certain age. It's like this OKC team is a throwback to a golden age of basketball. Then it's just they can beat like Larry said, they can beat you in like how you want to do this. You want to run, fine. You want to slow it down, fine. We could like what you want. Pick your poison. We can do this however you want to do this, gentlemen. And that's what makes OKC so good. And it's gonna take a lot from guys like Obi Toppin and it's going to take a from TJ McConnell. So it's going to take a lot from those guys to even keep the Pacers in this, because we know how deep the Thunder are. And we know, like, because again, Larry's talking about this with the Knicks earlier. It's like the Thunder, those guys, they got 9, 10 guys who play meaningful minutes.
Mhm.
And the Pacers, if they have any chance in this series, during those times where Halliburton and Siakam and these guys on the bench, they're gonna need to be able to like tread water in those like middle of the second, middle of the third, like those little like that's when OKC makes these runs. Because when they bring their 5 guys off the bench or their 3 or 4 guys off the bench, nothing changes. The level of play continues. And that's what makes OKC so good, because it's like with other teams, especially like, I don't want to turn this into the launch pad, but like with the Rockets, when the Rockets second unit comes in, there is a dramatic drop off in production with most teams. But with
Mhm.
OKC, and what makes them so good
Okay.
and so dangerous is that there is no drop off in production.
Trade him, get
You
him out
don't
of
you
here.
don't see anything, you don't see anything change with OKC when they bring in their quote unquote second unit. So OKC in 6.
Hey, Steve, I wanted to say this real quick, man, because Steve kind of hit it, dude. I think Adam Silver is loving this, bro, because he's like you said, dude. It's no Curry, it's no LeBron, it's no Durant. These guys are getting old, and what the NBA been talking about all season.
Youth
These young
movement.
stars, who's gonna be the next face? Who's gonna be the next when they promote? We thought it was gonna be Ant, but SGA has been getting a lot of this love now, and I think he's loving the fact I got SGA and I got Halliburton, and I can pick one of these guys to piggyback with Ant and be the new young guy. I'm gonna start hyping up. You can start seeing them on all the commercials and ushering out these older guys. So I think that, like I said, I think it's gonna be good. And to piggyback on another thing you said, the Pacers, like you said, they're gonna run into a team that's like the Pacers are normally about 8 deep. Okay, see, man, I done seen them dudes go like 10 deep, and I think this is where the Pacers gonna run into a problem. My 8 and 9 guy is better than probably your 6 and 7 guy.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
the Pacers have depth. They go about 10 deep. They can go 11 deep. I think they can go depth for depth with OKC. It's just levels to it, like
yeah,
Coach
but
Yeah, like I
said.
said, it's
okay,
levels. It's like
8 and
the
Like
9
levels
is
they
don't
can
pretty
they
change.
good.
can yeah, they can go 10 deep, but that number 10 guy isn't a guy that's going to come off the bench and light you up. Like they got guys that can 3 and D. They're a really good team. They have pieces that fit really well together. But are you telling me the 10th guy on that Pacers team can really hang with somebody on OKC? I
No,
don't
that's what
think
I'm
so.
saying.
No, no, and
Okay,
and that's what
they
makes it so hard for the Pacers,
yeah,
because
Yeah,
to me, when I see that there is no drop off. Like
no,
when they have like their 8, 9, 10 guy in there, they're still running the same offense, and it's still the same level of defense
hmm
intensity. It's everything, nothing changes. And,
right.
and that's what's crazy. It's like, and you know what? Talk about Adam Silver. Adam Silver said something that was very stupid to me earlier today, or maybe he said it the other
Mhm.
day, where it's like, oh well, like in the Super Bowl, if it's the Packers and the Steelers, like everybody loves it, but like small market teams in NBA, everybody's all like up in arms and stuff like that. And it's like,
You're not the
okay,
NFL, dude.
it's not the NFL. The NFL is built for everybody to go 9-7. It's like
But
the NBA
even
isn't built
still,
like that. The Steelers and Packers are two of the most glamorous franchises in the sport. It's like you can't compare the Steelers and the Packers to the Pacers and the Thunder. It's like, Adam, what are you doing, baby? It's like it's
it's not
totally
the same.
different.
Like when have we ever seen a Super Bowl have dramatically horrible ratings unless it's a blowout? But
yeah.
like it's an event. It's different.
Mhm.
It's different. It's one game. It's an event. What small team market teams have you had in the Super Bowl? Like, let's be honest. Is San Francisco a big market city?
Somewhat,
Kind of, sort
Mhm.
of. It's
somewhat.
like on the top.
You
Like,
have
is
to you have
Kansas
to lump
City a
it.
big
You have
market
to lump
team?
in the whole Bay Area when it comes
Yeah,
to the
you got, yeah,
49ers.
you
Like
got
you
to
have to be
lump
like, oh, the
Exactly.
San
Exactly.
Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area. You got to lump in the
Exactly.
whole area. Yeah.
But look at the big market teams, right? For football. You're talking New York, Chicago, LA. When have
it.
they been in a Super Bowl?
Well, you could say Green Bay. Green Bay
Is
is
that
a
Green
small
really
Bay
a
in
market,
the Super Bowl.
big
but
market team?
It's a
it's a
big.
big,
They're a
it's a big,
prestigious team, but they're not a
yeah,
big
it's not a
market.
Yeah.
big
It's
It's
market
literally
for them.
there's
it's like
levels.
eighty
There's
thousand people
levels.
live in Green Bay. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
I
it's
Yeah,
it's
mean,
they
not
all
like
know
big.
each other.
Pittsburgh's not a major market city, but Pittsburgh, the Steelers are the Steelers.
The
Like,
Steelers are a
But the
brand.
NFL is different,
They're a
though.
name brand.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Steelers are a brand.
Exactly.
Dude, we got to
You know what I
remember
mean?
the Carolina Panthers have been to a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl.
Jacksonville
It's the
is a
Super
team
Bowl.
that,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
the
If they
Super
went to the Super
Bowl.
Bowl, I'm going to freaking watch it.
I mean, look.
Yes.
I mean, one of the most watched games in recent history was between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills.
Mhm.
Who raise your hand if you've been to Buffalo? I have. Buffalo stinks. No look. No offense to anybody who watching from Buffalo. Buffalo, not a great place to be. Not a big
No,
city. You know what I'm
shout
saying?
out to
It's like,
Griselda.
you know what I'm saying? Shout out to West Side Gun. Shout out Conway. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all them boys out there. But it's like, look, I'll say this. Look. Buffalo, don't come in. The only city worse in West New York is probably Syracuse. Syracuse also stinks. It's also a bad place. But,
Rochester.
yeah.
There's a lot of holes in the
Look.
wall.
Rochester, they're known for a couple things. One of the things they're known for is called a garbage plate, where they just put a bunch of stuff on a plate and be like, "Here, eat it." And Barry's glad because you know what I'm talking about. It's like here's some spaghetti, here's some chili, here's a little cabbage. Here, I think there's some corn in here. Here, eat this. It's delicious. But anyway, like whatever. Like small market. It's
Anywho,
like
we don't went way off the rail.
Yeah. But like I
this
said,
is gonna be a final.
I think he's gonna be okay because he got 2 stars that now he can market that's young as hell and he
Who's
can
the other
promote them.
star?
Halliburton. I'm
Nobody
saying.
can pick that guy out of a lineup. Stop.
I mean,
Only-
but you
only
can market
now.
him. I'm just saying he was on the Olympic team. You can market him.
No,
And,
yeah.
they've been,
Yeah, he was on the Olympic team.
You're gonna tell me Halliburton is marketable.
Yeah, because they've been riding this coattail of him being most overrated player. They've been, dude.
That's desperate. That's desperation.
They have been, dude. Y'all wrestling fans, man.
I mean, I kind of see it.
Storyline. What do? You run with it. That's
you
the
ain't got no
storyline.
choice. You ain't got no choice. When you talk about run with it, you got no choice.
But that's been the storyline, bro.
Halliburton is not marketable. Stop. He's not marketable. Stop.
I mean, I'm not saying that he will be the next face of the league, but he could be marketable too. Think about it. Reggie Miller was marketable, and Reggie Miller played in Indiana. Dude, he could be one of the next guys that come in.
Wait for that one.
I'm just saying.
And if I ever see him calling the Knicks game again, I'm pulling up on site.
When Reggie played, they marketed Reggie. But did you see him in that Jordan, Barkley, all of them? Oh no, but they marketed Reggie too. And
man. Listen, on site,
Reggie got marketed more so locally in Indiana and stuff like
Reggie,
that. It's like I don't remember seeing any like national, ads and commercial with Reggie Miller on them, man. Like
his sister, him no.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as a Halliburton, as Halliburton, and he made to the finals. Adam Silver, he probably loving it because how many? Let's just keep it real, or keep it a book, like Aaron said. How many young players? I'm not talking about these old guards are on their way out the door, or maybe kind of sort of marketable right now.
What do you mean, the old guard?
No, I mean the new guard, the new guard.
Not many.
Because they trying to usher, they trying to usher out the old guard. They trying to get them out of here.
I mean, there's guys that are remarkable. You're talking about Luka. You got Tatum. You got Luka. You got Jokic. You got SGA. You got Ant.
I mean, do
there's
you really
guys
consider Jokic one of the new guys? Jokic is what, like 30 now or something?
Yeah, but I mean, he's not on the level of like Durant, LeBron, and
but I'm talking about these 25-year-olds.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I mean,
you're talking about the young guys that they try that, because if you see it, they making an exertive effort to quote unquote kind of market these really young players, these 25, 26-year-olds, the youngs.
But he ain't the one that you want. You would rather
I'm not saying he's the one. I'm just saying he could be like that. Yeah. The B guy. You can't have a
he's a D guy. Let's be honest. Like they'd rather have Cunningham or my man from the
I feel like he would be in the Cunningham mode because his team is doing better than Cunningham. They're gonna think about it. They're gonna get all the exposure playing in the finals that Cunningham ain't got, bro. So for me, he could be one of the B guys. The league has always been a bunch of, you have your A+ guys. When you start talking about your Jordan and stuff. They've had their A guys, but the league has always had those B guys that are, you'll see them here and there that they marketed. He could be a good B guy.
Listen, I'm not buying that story. Listen, they'd rather have Bachero or they'd rather have Cunningham in the finals.
And they'll be B guys too. You can't.
Halliburton is not marketable. I'm sorry, he ain't it. Like, if you're telling me like Adam Silver salivating because Halliburton's in the finals over Jalen Brunson, give me a fucking break.
No, I'm saying he's salivating because he has another young guy.
No, but come on, coach. If we're keeping it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Do you really think that they would rather have Indiana or the Knicks in the finals?
They would rather.
They would rather have the Knicks in the finals. They would rather have the Knicks in the finals. But I mean, again, it's like they're going to to Larry's point. It's like look, Adam Silver is going to try to like spin this to where it's like, oh, like because they said all the time. Indiana, everywhere else it's just basketball, but Indiana it's this that. They're selling that. They can sell that, and then it's like Tyrese Halliburton is the face of the team, which is funny. It's like, I think we all saw he thought he was going to win Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he did.
He kind of started making his way toward the front.
That guy, they're a bitch.
Hey, you just saying that because you're a Knicks fan, bro. And look, I'm gonna be. Look, I'm gonna just put it out there, bro. Like I said, we Rockets fans, man. And I gotta put it out there, dude. If you notice the direction the league is even going, dude, Cooper Flag being in Dallas, bro. Oh, they are salivating over that. They probably over just, oh yeah, we can't wait for him to take the court.
That one either.
He probably gonna be on at least 2 national televised games the first week of the season.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah. Look, they got this. Look, Larry, they got the Stetson waiting for him at the airport. Soon as he step off the plane at DFW, they're gonna put a cowboy hat and some boots on him. It's gonna be like, oh, look like, oh man, I can't. It's
you could watch the commercials. You could watch how even they starting to like talk about these guys. They want these young guys that they can say these are the new guys in the league. These are the new. Put like this: if it was an old star that was coming out of the East, I don't think they would have pushed them as hard as they're gonna probably push Halliburton, because they've been making an effort to kind of usher these older players out, and kind of they want these new faces of the league. I'm not gonna say face, but faces.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, this ain't Pepsi with the new generation. Halliburton ain't it. I'm sorry. He ain't marketing.
I mean, you just saying that because you're a Brunson guy, man, and you maybe.
No, I'm not. It's not even because I'm a Brunson guy. Like, dude, he ain't it. I'm telling you, he ain't it.
I'm not saying he's it. I'm saying
if you're talking about marketing somebody, then they gotta be it. What are we talking about here?
I'm not saying he's it, but I'm saying he can be one of the guys. And Adam Silver in the league has been all season talking about who's going to be the next young superstar, who's going to be the next, rivalry between these young guys, who's going to be the next young. That's why they love to see OKC in Minnesota in the West Conference Finals. Dude, they was loving that.
Did they? Because the ratings didn't show. The ratings were bad.
But I'm saying they were loving it, bro. They were loving
before the ratings came out.
I mean, because think about it, it's Minnesota and it's OKC, but I'm saying, dude, they were loving it. Dude, you saw Ant name on like every 5 minutes. You saw Ant popping up everywhere.
Well, because a lot of that was because of his off the court stuff too. A lot of that, I mean, we keeping it a buck. A lot of people. Ant was topic of conversation because of his off the court stuff too, not just on the court. So.
But like I said, the NBA they trying to usher out the old guard and bring in the new guard, and you can tell they've been making.
They have to. They got no choice.
Huh? And Barry, love or hate Halliburton, bro. He gonna be in Indiana for quite a while, bro. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Before we get out of here, we don't talk basketball for the last hour, 20 minutes.
Barry, man, we need to send Barry a hug, man. He's still
mad, man. Cuddle with my wife. I don't want to talk to y'all.
Being no bong is.
With that being said, we're going to talk a little baseball really quickly before we get out of here. The All-Star break is upon us.
Already? The season just started yesterday.
Yeah, the All-Star break upon us?
I mean, the voting opens. My bad. The voting opened.
All right, thank you. I'm about to say the All-Star game. Come on now. It's Midsummer
The
Classic.
mid,
It
yeah,
ain't.
I was
It
say it's
ain't
the
beginning of
midsummer
summer.
classic. Summer ain't even started yet. Like,
I went to the pool for the first time today.
It ain't even 120 degrees here yet, man. What you talking about?
But honestly, I look around the diamond really quickly. I saw something that popped in our group thread. I'm gonna let the Astros do what the Astros fans do. But when we spoke last week, they were leading the division by almost 3.5. As we sit here currently today, they are in a tie with the Mariners. Besides saying they
Nobody
lost
gives a
ball
shit
game,
about the
what
Mariners.
the heck happened?
Go ahead,
Besides,
Steve. Man. Go ahead.
the obvious.
Go ahead, Steve.
oh, I don't know. The Astros are in first place. They lost tonight. Um, like a very quick game too. It's like the Pirates got them out of there pretty quickly tonight. Like it's just funny. It's like yeah, you do that tonight, but then like last night you waste another gem from Skeens. Like I know that man's counting the seconds down till you can get out of
Mhm,
Pittsburgh.
mhm.
It's like, but look, the Astros are taking advantage of an otherwise terrible division. Let's keep a buck. Whatever you want to, whatever phrase you want to use. It's like the Rangers have been hurt. The Rangers started out pretty good. They've been hurt once again. Injuries are tearing, but the Angels are kind of playing really well. For the Angels, they kind of like they're
They
doing
look
all
for
right.
baseball.
Yeah, the Angels look pretty all right, and it's like I'm teased with Brian all the
Well,
time
I
about the
think
Angels.
I
The
think
Angels,
they were playing pretty all right, and I think reality's starting to set in a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
like, yeah, they're playing all right. They still, kind of like they're close to um they're close to 500.
Well,
So
5 games on the 500 is 500 for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
See,
The Mariners look. I say this all the time, and I know Larry's gonna laugh. It's like, man, look, this is what the Mariners do, man. It's June. June Mariners, they're at their highest power. They're in their highest form right now. All right. June Mariners baseball is about as best as it get, baby. Because as we get through June and into July, and then boy, when that calendar hits September, where are the Mariners, everybody? Where are they? What can has anybody seen the Mariners? So it's just look, I'm not worried. It's like this will happen. It's just my focus more so is like the Astros need somebody to throw. They need people to go out there and pitch. Astros like they cannot afford another injury to another pitcher. They just can't because the Astros, we were talking about with teams making moves. The Astros literally cannot make any moves. They really can't. It's just you have no wiggle room whatsoever. But the cavalry can come. If we again, it's like if the Astros can get healthy on the mound, if you can get Javier back, if you can get Garcia back, it's just like Blanco's gone. That stinks. But it's like if you can get those two guys back,
I ain't
especially
get it.
like
I know
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
I ain't
no,
get it though.
I like Airgate. I like Airgate. I just wish he would be more consistent. It's just because when he's on. But when he's bad, he is awful. So it's just the Astros bats have woke up a little bit. They still leave way too many people on base. Um, just a constant bugaboo was just like just it's just
Somebody get Larry some water. He needs some water.
yeah they well because like Larry knows what they'll do. They left like 13 men on base the other night in a game they lost by 1 run. They had a guy on third base 4 times the other night against the like, 4 times somebody made it the third with less than 2 outs and you lost the game. Whatever, it's fine. Christian Walker has been not great. Um, Jordan, look. The Prince has returned. He gonna get it back. He gotta get some shots up, so to speak, to cross sport phrase. He gotta get some shots up. He'll get his swings in. He'll get it back going. The Astros are fine. I'm not worried because the rest of the division, I just don't see anybody in the rest of the division doing anything. And it's like I would be more worried if it was just like they were going out there and not competing. The Astros are competing. It's not like the Orioles. Well, the Orioles just like, you know what, fuck it, we're done. Bye. You know, who cares? You know,
See you next year.
at least the Astros are going out there competing and just kind of like battling through the injury. So look, like I said, it's June. The Astros are playing how they do in June, and Larry knows what that means. That's why it's like they're still playing like this in into August. Then I'll be worried. But like this is June Astros baseball. Who cares? Like I
Larry,
got
talk to me. Where'd your head at, bro?
I mean, Steve kind of over here didn't hit it, man, and like he know I fussed about Kyle Tucker because Kyle Tucker he was the king of leaving runs on the bases, bro. He was the king of it. But this
well now
actual
Jeremy Pena has taken up that mantle now.
yes,
Um,
he's taking it up, and it's so frustrating because I know you guys don't watch Astros games. Me and Steve do. Astros could literally probably be
they could
12
be
games
winning.
up. They could be,
They could be winning this division by like 8 9
yeah,
games. Like
yeah. They
it's
could
like stupid.
obviously they could literally be winning this game, but they literally have. I was watching the game the other day. I think we were playing the Reds, and they literally had 3 bases loaded that did not score not one run,
Mm-mm.
and 2 of them was with 1 out.
Well, one out. Yeah, bases loaded
One
with
out.
one out, two separate times, no
Yep,
runs.
yep, and didn't score not one run. Like this is the most frustrating thing, and we fussed about the whole Bregman scenario because the scoring the runs is what we knew that was going to be a problem. We didn't know what we was going to get out of Paredes. We didn't know what we was going to get out of Christian Walker. And you know what, Steve? I hate to say it like that because after the whole Abreu thing, man, hey, Christian, you can't fuck it up no worse. Hey, that's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, man,
Because
yeah,
Abreu
like
was
yeah.
boy, hey, Abreu was thinking to join up. So
Well, that's because he's actually really 48 years old, Larry. That's why.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
oh yeah, I
Like,
forgot. Yeah,
get a man a break. You
yeah,
know.
hey, them what do you call them, Caribbean players birth certificates, man. You been question them. But yeah, dude, like I say, man, they was driving me crazy. They still driving me crazy. I'll say right now, if we basically if the Astros in a tie for first place right now, they're gonna win the division, point blank. That's just what it is. We know what Seattle's gonna do. So hopefully we get some more arms back. They literally calling up guys from like Double A to come start games now, and
Yeah, it's bad.
it's
Mm.
it even Steve. No, I hit him the other day. I was like, dude, this is why you shouldn't have been entertaining Bregman ass. And Bregman was on his bullshit going back and forth with us. Get your ass out of town because literally the money that the Angels paid Kikuchi, and I think, man, if we would have had Kikuchi, we would have been even further up. The money that they paid him in Texas money is like Prince Akeem, don't take my pocket change. That is literally
Yeah,
what that I think he signed for like 20, 21, 22 million.
yeah, nothing
As,
significant. Yeah.
yeah, after them California taxes, that's what by like 14. they,
Mm-hmm.
they could easily pay him that, and he was really a really good starter, and I think he would have been a really good 3-4 starter. But he was winning because all they needed him to do was just not give up too many runs and strike out guys. That was good, and they was keeping up. He was keeping them in the game, and they was winning with him, which it pisses me off even more. But yeah, they are like, man. Sometimes I just turn the goddamn game off because I'm like, damn, here we go again, leaving runs on the goddamn board. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many games, and it gets to the point where if it irritates you because, like Steve said, you'll lose a game by 1 run and you left 12 million on base, or you'll win a game and you'll win the game by 1 when you should have run the game by 5 runs because you left all these goddamn men on base. But I'm not gonna go into too much in the Astros. I will say this: the one bright spot of the Astros for me this season, and that boy kept me on pins and needles last year. But Hater been
Yeah,
lights out.
Hater's
He
been
been
nails.
he been
Like
he been
absolute lights out. Like he has been, yeah, he has been one of the bright spots of this year because
there.
it's like last year was not great, but with him and Presley, and I think they
Yeah,
finally kind of sorted that out now that Hater is the closer. But like yeah, like Hater has been fantastic. Um, yeah, it's
that boy
whatever,
been
man.
on
It's
it,
like
and like now I think the dust is starting to settle. I know I'm gonna pass this off to my Yankees over here, but I know the dust is starting to settle, and I know how Aaron feel about it. If the dust settle the way it settled, yeah, he like I don't want my Yankees seeing them Astros. Hey.
I never do. Speaking of the Yankees, real quick before we get out of here, right now,
You ain't thinking about the Astros, man. Get the hell out of here, man.
Come October base, I can't mess with these Astros, man. Yankees 5.5 up, dropped brought one today to the Guardians. Wasn't even really in doubt. Villain, where's your head at with this ball club, real quick?
I think they just need a couple arms. I think they're waiting for Gill to come back. I think Luke Weaver going down hurts. That hurts a lot. Just in the bullpen, losing the closers. So, and I think it's going to be 4-6, right? I think that's what they said. So that hurts. I think they probably need one more bat. I think, maybe we get Stanton back. But they might have to make a trade for a third baseman. But I think they're off to a better start than a lot of people thought they would be, given what not having Cole. Rondon's been excellent. All right, you got to give him his flowers. He's been pitching really well. Fried is worth his weight in gold. He solidified the top half of that rotation. So having those two at the top has been really good. I just think
it's the back half that's bothering me, man. I'm not a fan.
The back half is a bothersome point. So I think they need another arm. I don't know how effective Heald's going to be when he comes back. So maybe they have to make a move for an arm, and it's not going to be the Pittsburgh phenom. All Yankee fans, get that out of your head. That ain't happening. But there's probably a move that they can make to get a really good middle of the rotation arm that can help them in a series. 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean?
Can we move Devers into a setup and go get a closer?
You mean Devin Williams?
Can you move Devin Williams? Because right now, with our closer down, Williams is going back to the close.
So yeah, I mean, listen, Loizaga coming back helps, though, right? I think. So what? Loizaga coming back helps.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have to go desperate. But I think they probably need another bullpen arm. All the arms they can get their hands on, I think, is going to be helpful for this team. But Aaron Judge is clearly the MVP. He was flirting with 400 for a while. He's out of this world. It's just like it's funny. He's getting older, but every year he's getting better. He's absolutely amazing. So, I'm happy where they are right now. I think they're about 5 games up on Toronto with the injuries that they have. I think, Boston, they're finally going to see Boston and see them both weekends. Boston always gives us trouble because they're Boston. So, but if you asked me where we would be right now and you told me we'd be in first place 5 games up,
I'd be okay with that.
I would have taken that. So,
yeah. I would that. Cool. With that being said, anybody want to talk about anything else?
Y'all still don't want to see us in the playoffs. Y'all still don't want to see. Hey, you know what? Real talk. Like, we talking baseball real quick. I'll just put this out there, bro. Dude, it is crazy that what the Dodgers is doing, bro. Like, dude, the Dodgers
expected this.
Dude, I mean, they're not the best team in the NL right now, though.
I mean, I get it the record wise, but they think about it. Mookie Betts just came back, dude, and I didn't even. I was watching the game the other day because, dude, them in the Mets games has been really good. I'm watching the games, dude. They're like leading the league like every offensive category, and they really haven't had all of San
Diego.
Huh?
You're only a game up on San Diego.
I'm saying they haven't shown about record wise, but I'm just saying, dude, that is crazy.
Pitching. It's the pitching that we talked about that was going to be their problem.
But the pitching ain't all the way back yet. But like I said, dude, that's crazy.
But real quick, and then I want to go. How good have the Cubs been?
Impressive.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that. I was like look. I was a year early on the Cubs. The Cubs have been fantastic. Yeah, the Cubs have been fantastic. They have been great. And again, in a division that you got the Pirates, you got the Cardinals. Look,
got the Reds.
You got the Reds. It's just
you got to beat up on them, though, right?
You just line them up and knock them down. And on the flip side of that, man, look, does anybody understand what's going on in Denver with the Rockies?
No.
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 Like MLB should investigate what is happening in Denver. 'Cause it's just not right what's going on out there.
No, it's not.
It's just it's
They're the worst
awful.
team in baseball.
It's not even close. Because it's like I laugh about the A's and I joke about like the White Sox and all that. It's like man, the Rockies aren't even trying. They're not even trying.
Dude, you know what? Steve, this is the part why somebody need to look into it, dude. What did we all love about the Rockies for years? That thin air, and they would always have some guy hitting monster home runs, and people like, oh, you can't wait till they go to Colorado because they're gonna see moonshots.
Mm-hmm.
You see pebbles over there, like
No, no, it's not right. It's just
yeah.
it's something's going on, and it's just like it's not even like other sports where it's just like, oh, we'll tank to get the number one pick. It's like the Rockies are just I don't know. Like I
When
just
you're worse than the
don't think they're
Chicago
gonna
White
win
Sox,
40 games
yeah,
at this rate. At this pace, I
like
don't
if,
think.
when you're
Yeah,
playing as bad as
I
you're
don't know
playing
if they're gonna win
worse
30
than
games at
the
this rate.
White
It's
Sox,
just it's
that's a problem.
bad, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
man.
man,
You
like
used to always see them guys that they hit like 700 home runs in Colorado and hit like one away from Colorado. Like you don't even see that anymore. Like what the hell happened? Like you would always
well, I
get
mean,
them stuff if you got
it's two
games in
things. They
Colorado.
they they don't have the talent there anymore. I mean, and
Yeah.
two, like they put the balls in the humidifiers. I've actually seen them. It's actually really cool. They put the ball in the humidifier, so it's just like they kind of make the ball a little bit heavier or whatever like that to where the ball doesn't fly because they have to counteract the thin air in Denver. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a big reason why too.
Why? Why
And
is it?
and Coors Field is huge. It's one of the bigger ballparks in the majors. If
Mm-hmm.
you look up the dimensions, it's a big ballpark. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's a lot of things. But the team that plays there is awful too. So
Terrible, terrible.
mm.
It's boo boo.
Anyways, with that being said, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, man. It's been a great show, man. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna give you guys the opportunity to plug and do what you gotta do, man. Coach, you know what to do. Get us out of here, big dog.
Yeah, man, like another successful ballroom meeting. Look, guys, we say it all the time. It's not a catchphrase. It's something that we actually want you to do. If you see the link, share the link. Help us out. It helps us out. If you guys enjoy the conversation, share it with other people so they can enjoy the conversation the way you enjoying it. You sitting in here rocking with the execs, man. So y'all already know how I shut it down, man. God is good.
All the time.
Make sure to drink y'all water, especially like summertime is here. It was 90 degrees legit here in Pittsburgh today. So like plenty of water. Make sure you drink that water. And of course, get them dubs up. Wu-Tang is for the children. Peace.
See you, Coach, man. Pleasure sharing the space with you, man. Also check out Coach last night on our wrestling show. My man was live and in rare form, and it was fun doing that with him last night. Larry, you know what to do, my guy.
Oh man, yeah, that wrestling show was entertaining, man. I'm gonna say I'm not a big wrestling fan like that no more, but I'm gonna support my brothers. I'm gonna check it out. We know Barry was he didn't want to mention wardrobe malfunctions is his best part of the show.
Hey, listen. I don't know if you saw the wardrobe malfunction last night.
Hey,
God,
hey, look, Barry, we just don't want to see you in this medium jersey having wardrobe
Please and thank
malfunction.
you. Please and thank you.
but no, but serious. You
Don't
know
put
what
that one
happened
back
last
Oh, I
night,
on.
saw. I seen
bro.
Put
it.
that
I
one back
seen it.
on. Hey, so
Lord
it's
have
all
mercy.
good. Like I say all the time, man. People don't realize, man, that we keep this on the show, off the show. Even if we're not on each other's other shows, we still support each other, regardless if it's something we doing or not doing. Just like like Steve say, if y'all see us, share us. Just like we check out each other's content, even if we're not on it, even if it's not something that we just interested in. It's just about supporting one another. I will say this: hopefully, we can get CK back in the building soon. We'll see what happens. I'm glad Aaron gave us some airtime. It's gonna come, man. We're gonna do a mixed martial arts boxing show. Man, I don't know if anybody. Hey, I gotta say this before I go. I gotta say this. Caleb Plant messed up the money, and I mentioned him on the show, and he lost. So now I don't know if he's gonna fight Charlo because he messed up and lost. He did Ryan Garcia and he lost.
I was gonna hit you about that too.
He touched the money before it was over.
Well, I'm not gonna go too far in it, but him and Charlo been having beef, and that's why they was on the same card to set up the fight between the two of them. Charlo looked rusty, even though he won, but Plant lost. So now the bag ain't gonna probably be what the bag was gonna be.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I just gave that guy some hype, but it's some other good shows coming up. UFC gonna be good this weekend too. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But yeah, man, always a pleasure, bro. Hopefully we have all the execs back soon. Good having Barry in. Bing. And I'm out.
Hi, boy. Larry, pleasure sharing the space with that guy, man. Be on the lookout for him. I'm trying to get him and Steve to do an Astro show. We still
Nobody
gotta
want to see that shit. Nobody want to see that.
We still gotta recap the Rockets and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff that we got coming down the pipe play. Villain, you know what to do, man. Get us out of here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're gonna recap the Knicks season. I'm talking to our friends of the program, Anthony. I gotta reach out to Joe, see when we want to do it. I think we just need time to decompress. I think after Ether's conference finals, we needed time, and then now after this with Tibbs, the villain, Mom. I'm sorry. I apologize. My church people, I'm sorry, but it brings it out of me, and I gotta, listen. I have sinned.
Father, forgive me, I have sinned.
Listen, I apologize, but it's all love, man. I love Larry. I love Steve. Love doing the show with you guys. I love you too. I love you, Sirius. I didn't tell you last night, but I love you, Sirius. All right, but we're gonna do some fun things, and it's gonna be great. So thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Keep watching the shows. Enjoy your family. Hug your loved ones. Stay hydrated. It's gonna be a hot one tomorrow, and everybody stay safe.
Yeah, big dog. Appreciate you, man. Yo, it's your boy Sirius repping that 412 and the 703, man. Such a privilege and absolute pleasure sharing a space with these guys on a regular basis. Also, shout out to my friends over at Nonsense and Deep Thoughts, my man Justin and Aaron, doing big things over there. I love the collaboration with those guys. Also got another buddy of mine who I may be hopping on his podcast here in a little bit called The Playbook. So my man Trey doing things, his way. So it's gonna be fun, man. I love being able to, bounce and talk sports with all the masses, man. With that being said, I always say this as I get out of here, man. God is good, even though sometimes people aren't, man. God bless. Catch you guys on the next one.